gonna destroy millions of lives.
Only a cynical man would call what these people have lives, Wayne. Crime, despair. This is not how man was supposed to live. The League of Shadows has been a check against human corruption for thousands of years. We sacked Rome, loaded trade ships with plague rats, burned London to the ground. Every time a civilization reaches the pinnacle of its decadence, we return to restore the balance. When a forest grows too wild, a purging fire is inevitable and natural. Tomorrow the world will watch in horror as its greatest city destroys itself. The movement back to harmony will be unstoppable this time.
Yeah, fuck that fascist Batman. I've always sided with Ra's al Ghul. And so are the people in this faction, the Doomguard. The Doomguard are probably my second or third favorite faction in all of Planescape, because they're so unique, so interesting, and so much fun to play. The Doomguard are the guardians of entropy and decay. There are people that believe that the meaning and purpose of the universe is for it to fall apart. That's the reason we've been put here, not to help shore it up. The ultimate meaning, the ultimate reason for the universe, we're going to discover when it starts to decay, when it erodes, when it becomes corrupted and destroyed, when it's all burned away, everything's torn down, everything's ripped up. That's what you get with the Doomguard. They're one of the most intriguing factions because they're the closest ones that you can really call evil, depending on your perspective. See, the Doomguard believe that the ultimate truth of the universe is for the universe to fall apart, for it to be corrupted and destroyed. So they do kind of appreciate either people dying, or things being destroyed, or things being wrecked, or things being broken to a point. And all of the other factions are a little nervous around the Doomguard, because even someone who really hates an order-based group like the Harmonium or Mercy Killers, even if he really despises them, he's going to have to admit that at least they're trying to make everything good for everyone else. They're not trying to destroy everything or facilitate the destruction of everything. But the Doomguard see the ultimate destruction of the universe as inevitable, and something that they should take it upon themselves to help out, destroying everything. Tearing everything down, all of the cities, all of the people, all of the planes, destroying it all in order to find the real truth and the real secret of the universe. And the real truth and the real secret is that it should fall apart. Now, not all of the Doomguard are going to be like Ra's al Ghul. Not all of them are going to be actively seeking the universe's destruction. They're separated into three different groups by the rule of three that governs the universe. One is the standard Doomguard member who wants to burn everything down, break all the walls down, break all the cities, destroy everything around them, and usually actively take a part in that, which is a lot of fun because it can set up a lot of campaigns. It can set up the Harmonium and all of the other peacekeepers that are trying to come in and stop these people that are destroying the universe, or creating weapons that are trying to rend the planes asunder. Or you can have the Doomguard trying to unlock the cage, destroy Sigil, or somehow change its place in the planes and cause everything to fall apart around it. Or perhaps they're trying to stop the Blood War, something that absolutely needs to happen in order to ensure the safety of the rest of the planes. Or maybe they're trying to encourage the Blood War and somehow envelop all of the other planes. It's a great way to get a campaign started because they're always active, they're always seeking, they're always searching to destroy what's around them. But the Doomguard believe that ultimately destruction is in itself a purpose, it is in itself a meaning, and it's something to be encouraged. The Doomguard owns the Armory in Sigil, a vast building that produces all of the wonderful weapons and armor that the Sigillians can use or sell to other planes. They own the Armory because every single weapon that they send out there, every war that they facilitate, every violent act they help to commit is increasing entropy and chaos and destruction in the universe. One of the most Doomguard-esque actions I've seen on film is probably that of Snake Plissken in the second Escape from LA. When Snake Plissken at the very end of the movie decides to shut everything down, use a series of satellites to create a vast EMP wave across the entire planet, and essentially reverse 500 years of human history, and essentially destroy the entire modern world, is a very Doomguard-esque action. It increases entropy. It destroys what's around it. It breaks everything down, makes everything simpler. It reduces the amount of power built up in any one area, and it creates a vast wasteland of pre-modernity. And the Doomguard would really approve of that most of the way. Another type of sinker, as the Doomguards are known, would believe that the universe is more or less well on track for entropy, and we shouldn't really help or hinder it. We should just try to stop anyone who's trying to reduce entropy, not actually encourage the entropy. For instance, this kind of sinker might see a building that's on fire, and they may stop the people from trying to put it out. Whereas the first type of more anarchic sinker may actually set the fire and burn the building down. The more relaxed, neutral sinkers will look at the decay and the destruction of the universe around them and note that everything is basically on track for what we have going on now, and we don't need to pointlessly increase the amount of chaotic, miserable destruction. The third type of sinker believes that entropy is more or less well on track, and we actually might need to stop entropy. It might be going a little too fast, and we need to slow it down a little bit, although those are pretty rare among the Doomguard. Needless to say, there's a lot of campaign hooks right in there, with the Doomguard destroying and breaking things down and somebody trying to stop them, or maybe they should break things down. Maybe Ra's al Ghul was right and things are too corrupt and should be broken down and destroyed. In another one of my videos, I talked about a book that went into the history of Central Asia and the history of the Mongols and the other steppe tribe peoples. There's a theory that's been going around in history that this historian may or may not have ascribed to, I'm not certain, but it's meant to look at something called creative destruction, and that it's an act of creation and an important part of any kind of civilization to have it broken down and destroyed somehow, maybe from the outside by barbarians, or maybe from the inside by revolutionaries. But the idea of creative destruction is that the world is somehow in need of being burned down or destroyed every now and again. Like, as Ra's al Ghul said, forest fire paves the way for something new. The Doomguard would very much be interested in that. They like the idea of everything falling apart, everything being twisted asunder, pulled apart, everything that's been made being unmade. They really enjoy that idea. Even creating something to the Doomguard could be seen as an act of destruction and an act of entropy. Because in order to make something, you need to consume natural resources and expend energy, all of which there may be a finite amount of, and we can't get back eventually, and will increase the destruction seen in the universe. I've played as the Doomguard before, back when I was doing this years ago, and they were among my favorite factions. I loved playing as the Doomguard. To be the servants of tearing everything down and the servants of destruction is so unique and so interesting and so refreshing. In a world that's replete with things like Batman and Judge Dredd and the other symbols of force and order and control like RoboCop and so forth, it's interesting and so fun and relaxing and exhilarating to play a group that's trying to destroy everything, to bring everything down, to be the other side of the coin, and especially an ordered group. You know, they're not some sort of comic group of anarchists or terrorists who are going to eventually fail at what they're doing, or a group of chaositechs that are trying to destroy everything, but it's not really for any negative, evil purpose. They're not trying to destroy anything out of malice or cruelty. The Doomguard can find allies in the other chaos or entropy or fatalistic groups, like the Dustmen, who don't believe that this particular life is worth living, or the Bleakers, or the In-Depths, or the Anarchists, depending on the campaign, depending on how you look at things. They all share a desire to be free of the rigid structures of order. It's also good to play one of the more militant factions, unlike the Anarchists or the In-Depths, who are sometimes too loosely organized to really mount an effective resistance against the Harmonium. The Doomguard are extremely tough, militaristic, and they also have a number of fortresses out in the quasi-elemental planes of dust, salt, ash, and vacuum. These symbols of negative energy next to the negative energy plane that are bringing everything down in the universe, destroying everything, tearing everything away. The Doomguard are a serious threat that can pose a powerful militant opposition to the Harmonium or any of the other order-based groups in Sigil. The Doomguard are a hell of a lot of fun, because we get to see the other perspective, that unexplored side that believes we should tear everything down, break everything apart, and reduce everything around us to rubble. Rather than the people that are hopelessly trying to restore order, we're going to play the people that are bringing everything down around us, and it can't get any more fun than that.